Hey, what's up guys? I'm Unbound Brian and you're watching Crossing Swords. Stick around. Alright, so today's episode of Crossing Swords, we are going to be comparing Guyver. Sho Fukamachi versus Eddie Brock.
We are Venom.
What they have in common is both of these characters wear a symbiotic suit that is alive and gives the wearer superhuman abilities. So we're going to be determining which one is the more powerful suit. Is it the Clintar that has bonded with Eddie Brock and Peter Parker and many others over the years? Or will it be the Guyver Unit with, with all of Sho Fukamachi's weapons and experiences available to them? So, if you're new here, because I know there's been a few new guys here on this channel, especially since I had that rant video. You guys really liked that. That was shocking, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect anyone to even watch that video, and it went off like a damn nuke. Like I was just sitting there like, ah! But I'm glad to have you guys here. I'm hoping that I can keep entertaining you guys, and that maybe will find my versus battle a little more palatable. So the first thing, but like while I'm explaining how my death battles work, here's the thing. I do use a lot of death battle rules. Like for example, there's no outside help. There's no, and what I mean by outside help, like for example, Venom can't call on the Avengers to help him, kind of example there. Guyver 1 can't call Guyver 3 to help him, etc. Basically, these guys get their standard gear, so whatever they come with is what they get. In the case of Sho, he'll get his Guyver unit, he'll get the upgrade, Guyver Gigantic, he'll get that upgrade, because that's where the show ends. And of course Venom will have his current, believe his newest Clintar-based powers, which have allowed him to grow wings now, so we're gonna be, so everybody's getting, basically what they currently have. And I'm a little more specific about it. Now, this is where my versus series will be a little different from Death Battle is. I'm not going to pretend I have the definitive answer. Alright? The thing about, and here's the thing about these kinds of fictions that Death Battle doesn't really get, or that they don't really acknowledge, I should say, because to assume they don't get it would be, would be presumptuous. The point that I'm trying to make is that when it comes to comic book, manga, anime, video game characters, especially when they have an ongoing story, or they get rewrites, or they get redone every so often, there's going to be changes to the narrative. So what the character is capable of today may not be what they're capable of tomorrow. So you can look at it this way. My versus series is a window in time. What is, as of making this video, what are these two characters basically capable of? And if they fought each other, who is the highest chance of victory? That's also the difference. I'm not going to claim that character A can beat character B, and that's the definitive answer forever. Like I said, things change. We'll use Goku versus Superman as an example. Did I think Death Battle got that right? Yes, I do. However, that being said, it's debatable again because Goku has new powers. So, that's why rematches are a good thing, actually. So, as new developments happen, it's good to know, well, can Superman still beat Goku? Because when they did the first one, the highest he could go to was Super Saiyan 4. Now, granted, that's not canon. DBZ lovers, don't kill me. I know that's not canon, but that's not what we're talking about, okay? So, cool your ki blast over there, okay? I see you. I'm not looking to get vaporized today. But, you know, so that's the difference between my series Crossing Swords and Death Battle. I'm not going to... Mine is a... I know this video is going to be a little long, so bear with me. I know this is a little different. I just want to go ahead and just spell it out for you. This is how I do things here. And if you think I missed something, go ahead and put it in the comments below. Maybe I'll add it to a future video if I do a rematch. I mean, that's really up to you guys. I'm just doing what I think is fun, and let's face it, guys. Death Battle can't do every versus match. They can't. There's too many fictional characters out there, so I figured there's no such thing as too many places that do versus series, you know? Alright, so, now that the rules are basically out of the way, we're basically using we're basically taking Death Battle rules, and we're just tweaking them a little bit. Now that we know that, now that you guys know how this battle is going to go down, no prep time, you get your standard gear, these characters don't know each other, etc. Let's go ahead and start talking about powers and feats. We're going to start with Venom, and I'm going to take my handy dandy notes here, and we're going to start talking about it. So the Venom has a symbiote that was previously attached to Peter Parker, if you don't know, and we're gonna go on the very brief synopsis of that. Okay, guys. Basically, the Clintar take on attributes of whatever being they bond with, and so Venom has bonded with Spider-Man and has gone in contact with basically the Clintar god. I can't remember its name at the moment. It's gained some different abilities, including the ability to grow wings and fly, and exhibits a lot of the same powers as Spider-Man, including, but not limited to, superhuman strength, speed, perfect balance, the ability to cling to walls, accelerated healing, and heightened senses. Basically, and it's accelerated, it's not like a healing factor, but you get the idea. But the Clintar symbiote suit, Venom, has a few abilities that Spider-Man does not have. And those being including, like I said, it has the ability now to grow wings and fly, or also has the ability to have like a dimensional aperture, which basically means like it's a dimensional pocket, essentially. Basically, this allows Venom to hold objects and it not add any weight or anything like that to him. The symbiote itself has the ability to shapeshift and change size for intimidation purposes. Symbiote also usually is also a multiplier. So, for example, when it's attached to a human being, a normal human being, yes, it increases their strength, but only to a certain point. Now, in the case of Venom, because it was attached to Spider-Man first, it increased his strength, and then it adapted to that strength. So now that's why Eddie Brock, as Venom, is technically physically stronger than Spider-Man. Now, let's get to talking about the Guyver 1. There's a lot to get into here, so let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and talk about this. The Guyver units have the ability to increase the strength, speed, and create a durable armor for its wearer. It also has the ability to bond with its host, very similar to the Clintar. The difference being that if the control metal, which is the center of the Guyver unit, is to be removed from its bonded host, it will basically clone the host's body and absorb their mind. Wearing the Guyver unit armor, it increases the wearer's stamina, endurance, and reflexes, allowing them to do superhuman feats. So the Guyver unit provides extremely high levels of accelerated healing. While Sho Fukamachi is wearing the Guyver armor, if he was to say the armor was to be compromised and he gets stabbed, the armor will then quickly repair the damaged cells. The armor is equipped with a variety of weapons, including, but not limited to, a vibration globes, the Mega Smasher, aka the chest cannon, a head beam, two high-frequency blades that protrude from the elbows, a gravity controller, the control metal, obviously, to make and control the suit, a survive mode. Basically, unfortunately, the downsides of this survive mode is that when this happens, the wearer cannot tell the difference between friend and foe, so they will just kill everything in sight. And of course, Sho Fukamachi has the access to the Guyver Gigantic Armor, which basically is a suit of armor he wears over his suit of armor. So basically, we'll be giving Sho Fukamachi his full range of armor, and then of course we'll get up to the Armor Gigantic. and then or Guyver Gigantic, and then we'll be comparing Venom, obviously, with his newfound power since touching the symbiote god. Alright, so, if you're, like I said, if you're new here, I don't really have the ability to do animations, but I do have comparisons, and you will see images on the screen, of course, making those comparisons. So we'll be comparing strength, speed, durability, weapons, and powers. The powers and weapons will be shared as one category, as the Guyver doesn't really give powers to its wearer, like, say, the Clintar does for Venom. It gives the wearer powers as opposed, not weapons. So, basically, we'll be comparing that, and that last category will be the Guyver weapons versus the Clintar, or the Clintar powers. Alright, so for the strength category, the feat that we have the most knowledge of is, it's been roughly estimated that for Venom, it's 200 ton. It has a 200 ton lift, is around where his limitation is. He's a little stronger than Spider-Man, thanks to, you know, the Clintar being a multiplier effect to its wearer, as well as being able to absorb attributes of its wearer. So, thanks to those two factors, Venom is actually stronger than Spider-Man, and thus giving him a 200-ton lift. Now we're going to cut to the Guyver armor. Now the Guyver isn't going to be as easily defined. So because I did have to do some mathematics here to figure out where his strength is, and unfortunately the best way we could do it was through a multiplier. So the Guyver was able to overpower a Zoonoid that had a 15-time multiplier for humans, which is roughly about the average human male is roughly about 130 pounds, about what they can lift. So we put that through the multiplier. The regular Guyver unit, that puts about 20 or 2,025 pounds, which roughly calculates to, like, you know, a ton. And then of course, once we get to the Guyver Gigantic, everything is multiplied by 20, so that puts it roughly about, you know, 20 tons, give or take. So we're going to have to give the strength category to Venom. He's definitely got him beat in terms of raw physical strength. Now, let's cut to the speed category. It's been estimated that both the Guyver unit and Venom can dodge bullets, at the very least, but that's the fastest we've seen Venom dodge. So he's got about a 1,500 mile per hour speed rate. However, the Guyver unit, especially once we get to its full maximum potential with Guyver Gigantic, is roughly about 200,000 miles per hour, ballpark figure. I'll have a number flashed on the screen for you guys. In other words, it's way faster. It's fast enough to dodge literal electricity, like lightning bolts. The Guyver unit by itself, though, is in theory as fast as Venom is. So they've both been able to dodge bullets, so in theory, the regular Guyver unit is about the same speed. With Guyver Gigantus, you know, adding in, he gets a speed boost, a significant speed boost. Therefore, we're going to give the speed category to Sho Fukamachi. The next category we have is durability. Both of these guys are really durable, surprisingly. The Venom suit has the ability to, like, you know, absorb impacts of bullets or catch bullets in midair, and then, of course, like, you know, spit them back out and things like that. But the Guyver armor is obviously extremely durable and extremely hard to damage in the first place. I mean, even some of the strongest Zoonoids can't even get through Guyver 1's regular armor set without any kind of extra, like, not using brute force anyway. So these two guys are about even in that category, but I am going to give the advantage point to Guyver 1, being that his armor is actually, you know, armor. And not only is this armor been able to take things like missiles and bullets and survive, you know, electrical lightning bolt attacks and energy blasts from alien cannons and all these various things, it's been able to take the same hits that, you know, it can take a few things that, you know, frankly, the symbiote cannot. So we're going to give durability to the Guyver. Now we compare weapons and powers. Starting with Venom. because thanks to the Clintar's ability to shapeshift and do a multitude of other functions, like for example, it's also been shown to change other clothing. It also has been theorized that Venom can also make himself invisible by camouflaging into the surrounding areas. This does give him, in a fight, this would give him a small advantage. Now, among these other power sets, of course, is the wings. Being able to fly, this is a new development, but being able to fly does give, and I would argue that Eddie Brock probably has way more experience with flight than Cho does. Now we come over to the Guyver, which has a litmus of weapons. Vibration globes, the Mega Smasher, the head beam, high frequency blades, gravity controller. I mean, this stuff's crazy amounts of weaponry. And to be honest with you guys, I'm gonna say that not only would the Mega Smasher could kill Venom, it's not likely it would ever get used, but unfortunately for Venom, the Guyver does have two weapons that give him the advantage in this category, as his vibration swords and the vibration globes, which the globes have been said to not only damage a target, but damage the target on the molecular level. So we're going to give the weapons and powers category to the Guyver unit. So this being said, I gotta give the winner between, if these two guys were to actually fight to the death using some of the rules of death battle, I gotta give the victor to Guyver 1. Now, the reason why I say this is, for one, not only is his speed and durability just too much, like, frankly, Venom's physical might maybe being 100 times stronger than the Guyver is yes, an advantage. But here's the thing. Strength doesn't mean anything if you can't hit your target. And frankly, even if he can hit the target, there's no guarantee that he'll even damage the target, because remember, we're giving him Guyver Gigantic. So, if, you know, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but you get the idea. On top of that, symbiotes are weak to two things: fire and sonics. And sonics are high frequency vibrations, which basically the Guyver not only has in his elbow swords, but also has in like the vibration orbs, which can hit the target on the molecular level, which basically means the Clintar can't save Brock from this attack, because itself would be also damaged. So, even though Venom definitely outclasses the Guyver in strength, everything else goes to the Guyver. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that it was rather long and arduous, but there was a lot to unpack here. The Guyver unit has a lot of weapons in here. Mind you guys, this is not a definitive answer. I don't pretend to have all the answers here. This is just my best guess. I look at the two characters, I look at their weapons, their powers, and I go, okay, what out of these two guys, who do I think has the best chance at winning in a fight between the two? And this is the one I gave. I give point to the Guyver. He's the one I bet. If I was going to take a bet on these guys to see who would win in a fight, I'd bet on the Guyver unit. Alright, so if you guys like this video, if you like my own Versus series, Crossing Swords, make sure that you hit that like button. If there's something you think I could improve on, please put that in the comments below. I want this to be a good and entertaining series for you guys, and any critique is good, as long as it's not just something, you know, if you're gonna critique me, leave me a thing where I can improve here. I can't use you know, you suck or you're wrong. I can't use that. You gotta tell me why. Anyway, guys, I am Unbound Brian. Make sure you guys come back here. I post one video at least every week on this channel. Sometimes two, pending on the subject. But this is something I've been kind of working on behind the scenes. I've been working on it for like 3 days, so I hope you guys like it. And I will see you guys next time. Peace!